Too late. But what we'll have is we will have a bidder's interest meeting where it gives an opportunity for the local contractors to come in, discuss how they would like to see some bid packages. We may not be able to accommodate everything that wants to be done, but it also gives them an excellent opportunity, because these are bonded projects, for some smaller contractors to meet some of the larger GCs or general contractors that may be interested in the project, who will then work underneath their bond as a subcontractor. So it's an excellent opportunity, and when we advertise that, we'll get that word out into the street, and we want to promote that. So the contractors come in. We like to hear from them. We want them to bid our projects, your projects. Yes, ma'am.
Earlier you had mentioned something about some training you could assist in for the smaller contractors for certification. Mm-hmm. Could you elaborate on that, please? Sure.
On the Ohio School Facilities Commission projects, they have a goal that 5% of the construction dollars be performed by an EDGE certified company. And that certification is a state certification that companies, minority, female, veterans, there's a whole list of definitions on how how that EDGE is defined, can go on the website and enter their company information and become an EDGE certified firm, which would give them a little leg up on bidding some of the work on projects like Elyria. But Regency could, along with the school district, maybe hold a session and help contractors understand how to go to the website, what kind of information they're going to be asked to put on, and actually assist in helping put that on if needed.
We plan to address that at the Business Expo. We're going to have a panel at the Business Expo to preview the project, to get as many Elyria and Lorain County contractors and companies involved as we can in the process. So we will be engaging a lot of folks at that expo ourselves. One of the other things that we'll be doing shortly is, as your construction manager, we have to put together what's called an implementation plan to OSFC, which means this is our contract negotiation period with OSFC. Once that contract negotiation is completed with OSFC and they know how much they're going to pay us, we will then be developing our cash flow projection, which is very important for the district and for everyone involved, because that's when we take AVG's fees, our fees, and all of the projections of what we think the project is going to spend throughout the duration and develop a cash flow. It's going to be very important for Mr. Stevens also to know when money from the state is going to be sent to them, to the district, for infusion to pay off all the bills. Just to summarize, the first $21 million that's going to be spent on this project, sans a little bit that the state or the district has to spend to keep your arbitrage in place, will all come from the state. So the $45 million that you raise from the bond issue, that is your local share, will not be spent until we spend all of the state's $21 million first. So you can see where there's a nice opportunity for some interest income based off of that money. So this cash flow projection will project how the money's going to be spent and when Mr. Stevens is going to have to start writing a lot of checks. So that's a very important task. And neither we nor the architects get paid until that cash flow projection is approved by OSFC either. So.
Will your information at this meeting also explain the protocol for the subcontractors, meaning in addition to the OSFC requirements for the contractors and your interaction with them, I'm assuming that there's similar requirements for subcontractors and their relationship with the contractors?
Sure.
Do you want to go? Go ahead.
We will discuss some of that at the bidder's interest meetings and our requirements for subcontractors. Outside of that, once we do advertise a project, we have also what's called a pre-bid meeting, which we had with the demolition contractors, where we get into some more specifics about codes of conduct, how they're working, bonding capabilities and requirements, and we're always at their disposal for the subcontractors. I tell them to please call us at the bid time, as well as primes, to make sure that you're complying with it, because we don't want to lose any bidders or subs based on the fact that they may not have signed a bid form. So we really try to stress that to them and tell them to call us frequently.
One of the things we've talked about as a board is making sure that we give everybody the best chance possible to get ready for the work as well. And will there be an opportunity for information enough in advance that if there needs to be adjustments by some of the potential subcontractors, that they can make those adjustments that would make them eligible to bid on that work eventually?
Yes, there are. There's actually things in place currently for bidding requirements. And one of those is, while we need a bid bond, and a performance bond, a contract bond eventually, the bid bond can come in the form of a letter of credit or a certified check in the amount of 10% of their bid. And we stress to the contractors that you have a certain amount of time after that is submitted to convert that to a contract bond.
I see.
So they need to have those negotiations going on with the surety agent to make sure that they can become bonded. But we do stress that with them. So there are options available.
Okay.
Did you have something to add to it?
Yeah, I think if I can direct you back to the schedule a little bit, the yellow bar at the top is our program requirements, and we're done with that. AVG is about ready to start the first big blue bar, which is the schematic design. If you notice the 2 stars that talk about community engagement down in what's called the design development, it's the second major blue bar down. That's when we will be also about midpoint there, Ms. Brenda, start talking to the bidder interest meetings where we bring folks together. That gives the contractors and their suppliers and subs about 6 months head start on the project as a preview. We tell them the types of packages that are going to go out on the street, the order of magnitude of the work that is involved in each one of the bid packages. So if folks want to start teaming up and start strategizing how they can best team up with either larger firms and smaller firms, that's why we bring it about 6 months prior to the bids go out on the street, so they can get their teams together or their bid strategy, which is very good because it starts telling them what's coming off of their plate and when they can pick up more work.
And I think the more we can communicate that, the better.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be sending postcards out to folks to make sure that try to get every stone that we can unturned so the folks who are interested in working on the project, all we want are qualified, bona fide contractors working on the job.
And we've already spoken with the city and the building department to get a list of the registered contractors that are here. Also talking to the Chamber of Commerce of both City of Elyria and North Ridgeville to find out the contractors that are in here. So we're going to generate some interest in this project, although it's already out there, but we're going to help push that along.
Thank you.
We do have a copy of the PowerPoint presentation here also that we'll leave with you tonight. I didn't know if the proper protocol is to pass it out while we were doing it, but we do have copies for everybody here of everything we talked about. So as we continue to give you the updates and the information continues to expand, stop us if we need to back up a bit, but because we want to make sure that everything is clear and as concise as Terry and I and Bob want to try to do every time we do one of these. We want to just give you the facts. And so that rumors can be put to bed if people start them. We just want to make sure that the community gets the facts as well as you.
Do we know about the community engagement? Any more about that tonight, right now? More detail? We can ask some questions. Do you want me to ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry. We've been talking a little bit about the community engagement phase, and I know when we went through this process earlier, we had a whole schematic kind of drawn out in terms of that piece. And according to your timeline, we're looking at December as it relates to the program of review piece. I think the end of December, it looks like.
Yes, through June. December through June.
But it would be, the first one
It
would
would
be what,
begin.
in December is what you're saying? Okay.
Or January.
Could you
December, January.
Could you talk a little bit about what might happen in that first engagement process?
I guess we're interested in maybe just some examples of, I mean, we've always are thinking about community engagement and how we can do it, but you've